All right, ladies and gents, I would like to preface this cast with the fact that as of 20 minutes ago, my mic wasn't working. I accidentally spilled water on my audio mixer, and then the mic went off, and then I was disappointed, and it's working again. So if I sound a little bit different, I apologize. It's either I don't cast this at all, and I'm slightly different, or, I cast being slightly different, and I think the main thing is going to be audio levels. My mic is drying out, okay? This is a best of 5, which we were going to cast from the beginning, but I was occupied, okay, for the first one. And Lucky Rocks won. Lucky Rocks is a 22-year-old Argentinian player. You might not have heard as much about Lucky Rocks. Lucky Rocks, very talented. Some decent 1v1 results over the past year or two, including being on the Argentina Nations Cup A team, who was in 5th or 6th place this year. Teamed up with Nikov and whatnot. The Lucky Rocks won the first game against MbL, who is the heavy favorite here in the group stage set. Lucky Rocks now playing as the Sicilians, and MbL is playing as the Bohemians. I think if anything, because the game sounds typically for me are a bit lower anyways, if anything, the game sounds won't be too loud here. I think we should be fine. But anyways, Bohemians are in the top 5 of Arena Civilizations, in my opinion. I didn't get to see the draft because, again, water microphone thing, but MbL probably snagged this pretty early on and wants a bounce-back game after losing Game 1. Now, to my viewers, if you could possibly tell me what the Civs were in Game 1, I'd be very interested. Yeah, Sicilians here, I think they're going to have to be a little bit creative and go towards some extremes. So maybe a really big boom. So like a crazy big eco. Yeah, why are the Lumberjacks shiny? This must be a capture age thing. MbL's Lumberjack shiny? Yeah. I don't know why this is happening. A really big economy because you could build town centers really fast. Or, maybe castle drop, siege push, something along those lines. The thing is, Bohemians have lots of options. But I think that you should at least force MbL to try and use those options. Okay? Don't just assume... And this is a tricky thing for me as a player. When I'm at a civ disadvantage, I just think, well, I don't want to do that thing because they have a counter. Well, at least force them to make the counter, right? And force them to play the game. Putin's in Chinese was game number 1. Okay, interesting. And which civilization did the players have? Yeah, I don't know why Lucky Rocks has that weird little apostrophe thing, but I'm going to remove it there. And I'm going to remove it here as well because it's really... I think the Argentinian players have like a bunch of they've got like a bunch of, how do I describe this? Like a lot of inside jokes, a lot of name changes. There's another player who's on the younger side named Deeker, for example. My favorite name I've seen him have is Deeker Casillas. Play on words with Deeker Casillas, if you know that player, one of the best goalkeepers ever. But anyways, so yeah, I don't really know why that was there. Clearly, it was intentional. And yeah, we have glowing lumberjacks, but not miners. Interestingly enough, I suppose we're just going to have to deal with that this game and maybe a restart of capture. MbL was Chinese, tried to do some wacky forward siege push that didn't work, and then Lucky Rocks crushed him with Paladins. Ooh, confidence play. Go Toot and Paladins in the first game. All right. MbL's not made a barracks here, so he's likely just going to go Blacksmith Market and boom. And usually the goal for this civilization is to build up towards Halb Kuznitsa. And you can always go for the early chemistry at some point to mix in some gunpowder as well. We do have a stable for Lucky Rocks. And so this is going to be stable market, which I really like. Because the market can help you balance out your economy. You don't really need the blacksmith upgrades. This is going to be scout control for Lucky Rocks. Now, I wonder if MbL is going to add spearmen. Because oftentimes you could still go for monks, but you add spearmen. And Bohemian spearmen do more bonus damage. MbL saving a lot of wood right now. Ultimately, he probably wants to put a lot of that towards his boom town centers, but I don't know if you want to give up relics completely. Yeah, Dad Leisure, I'm back. Also, did I ping the Discord that I'm back? I'm going to double check to see if I pinged it. Yes, I said casting, but my mic is kind of wet, but it works. Okay, perfect. What do you think of their building placement? Their building placement is fine so far. Jordan was annoying me. If I know MbL, he's also going to... Well, okay, there's some buildings. If I know MbL, he's going to have houses in random spots for sure. So, MbL might buy... I'm trying to figure out what he's doing with his extra gold. He either goes double monastery, which is an option, but a bit risky these days because a lot of players go for scouts. Or we could see him buy a stone right now and just go for a 4 TC boom. Hale's not left his base. He's just scouting out his map. It seems like he's trying to plan for town centers. He thinks his civilization's so good, it doesn't even need the relics. And, found the wood line back here. Wandering over. TC drop. Get TC drop. And then monastery as well. Okay. Obviously, he doesn't know what Rox is going for. But Rox is going for more of that standard approach. Sicilians have some pretty strong options. But here in this case... You know, that economically, Bohemian's already kind of feeling the strength of the free mining upgrades. And we're going to see MbL probably buy some there for different upgrades. But yeah, so anyways, as I was saying, like, I have spilled quite a few things on my desk over the years. I've never had any issues. And this was like maybe a third or a fourth of a glass of water. And it must have just hit the right angle. Didn't really go on the mixer, but it went, there was water next to and underneath the mixer, so I imagine some water would have gotten in there. Hasn't even been an hour at this point. I mean, hopefully things will resume. I can't boost my mic anymore within my mixer, so I don't want to start messing with settings and then have it revert. I'm just happy to be able to cast here because I was kind of in the mood for and I got kind of bummed when things got slowed down here today. All right, Bohemian monk upgrades apply to villagers. So getting fervor will add efficiency to your eco. Good 3 TC eco here for MbL. Interesting. I wonder if my mic's even delayed right now, ever so slightly. Is that a thing? I actually believe my mic, whatever I'm saying, might actually be delayed by half a second. Let's do a test. Ready? So I'm clicking this relic, right? I'm going to say boop when I click the relic and tell me if it matches. Boop. That was as good a test as I could possibly do. Was it spot on, or I might just be paranoid at this point? Third TC coming up for Lucky Rocks. It is expected, even though your TCs build faster, that it will be later. It's even. Okay, just paranoia. Perfect. Thank you. Because it's normal that it's later because he's gone for further investment or additional investment into the middle. Already has 2 relics. And honestly, in this type of a position, don't get converted. In this type of a position, good job from MbL to heal this scout up. I could definitely see a siege push making some sense. Again, apply some pressure to MbL. You having map control, but you have to get the relics home first. MbL didn't even really scout the middle here, guys. Like, he didn't scout at all in Dark Ages. Very interesting. But he doesn't really know where to head out. He could just blindly send a monk that way, but look at Lucky Rock's blocking. Lucky Rocks is playing incredibly well here. Protecting the monks all the way through, trying to kill MbL's scout. Husbandry in? There must be a difference in speed here. Husbandry is in, which allows for the blocking like this. This is impressive. And now MbL has no vision in the middle. So now for me, I think you have to go for a siege workshop. Because you just have to apply some pressure, force MbL to stick deeper and deeper in Castle Lake. Just going 5 town centers. And especially this one. If you see this one, I mean, that's just asking for it. I think he's going to build up more towards Imperial Age push or something. In mining stone now. Will be all 5 relics. in Lucky Rocks' monastery. Again, he won the first game. Did not cast it. But yeah, maybe that villager's leaving the base right now to go for a push. Bear is going to get attacked by the scouts. Kind of funny. The monks spot anything there? No, they did not. A little bit unfortunate not to have spotted it. But you should be trying to look here. Right? But obviously now he's like, well, I did my job. I got my relics. Now we need to macro like mad. And both players macroing like crazy. We'll look at res collected. MbL's collected 800 resources more. But there's the Siege Workshop. MbL might need to be forced into the redemption tech to convert it. That seems pretty realistic. But 2 golds for MbL are here, and all the neutral stones as well. This is a nice little spot to have some control over. He should know he has 5 relics. He doesn't really need to scout too much with the monks. Looking around at the walls. Gonna go for a ram here. Don't love the ram, but redemption... Oh, man, there. Now he sees the TC. But, you know, redemption monks can't convert rams from range, and they can convert mangonels from range. The ram might actually scare MbL from moving out, and might actually force redemption when... I don't know. It's going to do something. Which is my point, I think. Maybe. Lucky Rocks with really good resources to go up to Imp. Hasn't added a second ram. Has not used this ram yet. And MbL, he doesn't know anything's really happening. Really. I have to say his economy is insane. And Bohemians are the better civilization. With crazy options. Very hard to stop them. Imp on the way for MbL. And Lucky Rocks now shows up with the ram. Okay, so... MbL's dropping archer ranges. Now going to drop down a Siege Workshop. Both players see each other with the monks. If they have Atonement, I think they both should consider it to convert other players' monks. Ram's not going to accomplish much, though. Right? Whoa, what am I hearing? Oh, was he trying to convert the villagers there? That must have been it. I didn't actually see it for some reason. Mangonel will push the ram away. MbL thinking about Arbalest, because he's queuing archers right now. And really should be clicking chemistry before he's an imp. There he goes. Again, Bohemian bonus. In fact, you could do that. Not see the first game, so I don't know exactly what the plan is. Oh, God. Now the ram is in. Yeah, I didn't see the first game, but I heard Lucky Rocks win Paladins, and it seems like he's got faith in the Cav. He's adding more stables, and he wants to go for Knights. Sicilian Cav can be very strong. And MbL is showing ranged units. So honestly, I kind of like it. I think it's your best play. If you saw the barracks, then maybe you consider going for your own ranged units. But I think going into Cav makes a lot of sense. The blacksmith upgrades are coming in ahead of time. The stables are coming up. The thing, though, is that he doesn't actually have the units yet. And the ram just kind of took a little tour of MbL's base, and that was it. I wonder if he also saw it was archers. Probably. Knights now on the way. Wonder where this castle is going to be for Lucky Rocks. MbL has an amazing economy, but he doesn't have vision on what Rocks is going for. Saw the siege, so that could have freaked him out a little bit. He's getting block printing now for a little bit of extra range on those monks. MbL laid on crossbow. He could have already clicked Arbalest, for example, but he is making bombard cannons right away. And it's just that crazy economy combined with Halb and ranged units. And then also the bombard cannons, that's the problem. Lucky Rocks needs more on golds here, man. Like he's got 6 on golds. And he's going to drop a TC on that gold. And this gold's right behind the castle. That's going to get pressured the second MbL sees it. This is not going to work too well if he doesn't get more army out. Crossbows produce faster than archers, so why produce archers with that crossbow upgrade? Well, he's doing this. Right? He's doing a lot of different things. you don't think about those small specifics. Like, I couldn't even told you that crossbows produce faster than archers. Maybe, like, it's probably minimal. I actually didn't know that. I guarantee you MbL didn't know that. And if he did, it's still just not something you're really thinking about. Okay, so the Hallberg upgrade is key here. Get additional armor for your cav. But I'll tell you what, man. Bohemian Halbs still do additional bonus damage. Normal Halbs also do good bonus damage. And I just think MbL's full boom was just, it was confident. It was calculated. It wasn't punished in any way. And I think this is just going to be the death ball that everyone's scared of with the Bohemians. There is the Hallberg tech. Oh, maybe if Lucky Rocks could get one big ball, like 40 cav, and then clear everything, and then have the Trebs take down all these castles. That's what you need. Forget about skirms. Skirms won't work. It takes too many resources to get the buildings up. It takes too much time. You need your best unit. You need as many attack upgrades as you can. You need to YOLO this. And it needs to happen fast. And you need more than 13. And he's got buildings. He's adding more stables. He's just struggling to get the gold. Feels like a weird thing, but it feels like he doesn't have the first gold mining upgrade. Another blacksmith for more techs. Like, I don't know. It's tough for me to really have a good gauge on feeling on that. In the game, I would always check. But as a caster, it's not something I really call out that much. I wonder if he has it right now. Did get conscription, which is nice. Gonna have one Treb. Thought he had two at one point. May have lost it. MbL's gonna now have Wagenberg tactics, so his gunpowder moves faster. Iron casting upgrade comes in. And Lucky Rocks is 24 units. Bohemians are really strong. Sicilians are kind of not. And MbL's a really good player. And if left to his own devices, he's going to do things like this civilization. Alb was the correct play. I still don't think that Lucky Rocks made too many mistakes. I just think that an arena, strategically, sometimes you're just kind of stuck. And I guess the answer would have been more aggression. Didn't ask many questions of MbL and Castle Age. That was the main thing that I said, right? So I think that that's probably the key to me is maybe, you know, if you're looking back at things he could have done differently. I mean, he's not even over yet. I'm already calling it because it seems over, but he's got 35 cav. Good job from MbL to dislodge those relics. But anyways, you know, maybe a little bit more aggression in Castle. Okay, so he's going to have 30 fully upgraded Hallberg cav. We've got lots of armor. MbL's trying to stonewall now. He's actually out of position with his Halbs. He's super out of position, actually. He could lose a lot of units here. Remember, he doesn't have the relics. The Halbs are not in the position they needed to be in. Hold the phone, people. Hold the phone. The doctor's calling for MbL. But there's not going to be anyone here to heal up. Still, it's so costly to make this. Still, MbL can make a lot of Halbs. Yeah, that's the clear you needed. And then you needed four or five Trebs to push the buildings immediately after. I think MbL just got too caught up with getting walls down. But still, in the end, he's got double Casso Fire, and he's going to have more army than Lucky Roxy. So, the fact that he already had kind of taken control of this middle area and got his production buildings down means he's going to be right back in business. And MbL's going to be fine. One Treb isn't going to cut it. Treb's going to go down. Cav's going to go down, and I think we have a 1-1 series. Everything's sounding okay, I hope. And, well, they're strong. Hallberg Cav is strong, but they're costly. And Halbs don't cost gold. And MbL's got the castles. MbL's even got crossbows mixed in, too. Could be Arbalest, right? Could have got a little bit more from it, but this is an important game for MbL. I could actually see him really feeling some nerves if he went down 2-0 against an underdog. When there's pressure on MbL, is when he actually performs his work. And he feels pressure if he actually, I think, plays... I don't know how to word this. He actually plays worse at times when he's the favorite and he loses the first game. Like I would as well, because you're like, oh crap, I shouldn't be losing this game. That was pretty simple to say, I suppose. Well, we have First Crusade coming in, so now all the TCs are going to get sergeants for free. But they're not elite sergeants. And MbL can just make gunpowder. And MbL is going to have a castle, which might even be enough against these sergeants. So Lucky Rock's just trying to exhaust all options, right? Using both unique techs. We've kind of seen the best that Sicilians have to offer. I'm a little shocked we haven't seen it. Does it actually sound like I'm underwater, or are you just joking? The only feedback I've heard on audio is that it's just quieter than normal. But otherwise, I've heard that the audio is pretty... So, there you go. Boom, boom. MbL is both too confident and lacks confidence at the same time. I think that's a fair assessment of MbL. It depends on the day and the situation. Scores 1-1 here. You're just trolling. All good. I figured, Prince. I figured. But I'm paranoid about it. So, yeah. GG. I don't know. It's like, this is why you just ban Bohemians if you can. Again, I have to look at the draft, but I think at the moment where he went for the Siege Workshop, the Ram didn't make sense. But if he goes for a Mangonel, MbL already has a 20 bill lead. MbL just instantly clicks Redemption and converts the Siege anyways. So I guess like the answer is like boom more. But I think MbL just used the Civ bonuses of the Bohemians so nicely and basically said, yeah, my Civ's insane. Come at me. Come at me. Come do something. Because I have an answer for everything you do. And then I'm going to kill you and him. So, big eco lead there for MbL before we move on to game number 3. Thank you for watching. All right, here. So, game number 3. We're all tied up here at 1-1. And again, I'm just surprised to see MbL has got polls. So, the way the Civ draft works in this tourney is you have a bunch of... that's definitely not it, Mr. Potato. You just have a bunch of bans before the selection process. And so that was the first time I'd seen Bohemians. This is the first time I've seen polls, because usually those civs are banned out. So I guess with that random process, we actually had quite a few civilizations that were, I guess, poor on Arena or mid-tier on Arena banned. And then some of those stronger picks were available. Actually, for the sake of content, because we have the time, I want to look at this draft real quick. Okay. So you see what I mean, right? Like Burgundians was out. For example, there's all the globals. MbL won the previous game there. I guess this is how we're kind of looking at it here. What am I missing on this side? Chinese apparently had lost for MbL. So it's just interesting to see Bohemians polls number 1 and number 2. But Malay and Teutons and then Malians all very strong there. So I guess it is making more sense now that I look at it that way. But yeah, polls. You have to play them in a very specific way. To take advantage of their bonuses. Farms around your full works. So, if you could get that done, which you can do easily on Arena, you're getting a lot of food income. And then, when you're mining stone, you're also receiving some gold income. They've got very cheap units. They do have strong units, but they're not unstoppable strong units. Nothing that has extreme HP to it. So, it's more about numbers for the polls. And then, of course, as always on Arena, timings. Especially because these guys feel kind of close together here. Timings on the front would be nice. I think the... I feel like the Malians are really good for timings because their university upgrades are faster. So bombard cannon timing, for example, can be really nice. Chemistry for gunpowder, whatever else. And all the Malian buildings are discounted on wood. So that just adds up, and that's a nice little bonus throughout the whole game. Hello, Mr. Potato. Mr. Potato, you linked a Google search, which must have like 50 characters, and it's just pigs. And now you're saying, hey, T90, you're missed a lot, man. You used to cast a lot more. Now I rarely see you. I'm here all the time. I don't know if you're being serious because of the pig comment before. Or maybe it was an accidental copy-paste thing. But I mean, I screwed up my mic earlier, so I've missed the first game of this series. I'll be casting a lot of Masters of League. I've just been busy. Okay, so MbL's going feudal. So this is going to be a feudal boom into Folkwork Farms. Not a bad strategy, but not something you see all the time. This used to be a lot more common with civs like Malay, which we could maybe see from Lucky Rocks in the series. And Slavs as well. Malay don't have a farming bonus, but it's just the fact that they spend so little time advancing to the next stage that makes it quite strong. If I recall, you could still be sub 15-minute castle time, or maybe just after 15 minutes off of a feudal age boom. But this is more of a standard approach from Lucky Rock. I got you, Mr. Potato. Well, we covered the last week and a half King of the Desert. I've been playing in tourneys and doing a lot of different things. I still did cast a lot the last month and a half, but I didn't cast as much as maybe you're hoping for, so there will be more. So, keep an eye out. But it's going to be like 4 to 5 hours of casting, and then maybe 3 to 4 hours of other things. So there will be times you show up here and I'm doing other things. But just pay attention to the Discord, pay attention to the schedule, and we'll have lots going on here. So, okay, MbL, adding his farms. 10% of the farm's food comes in after you build the farm. Is this even good? What do you guys think? Like, you're not even taking the berries. Like, sure, yay, food boost, but like, I don't know if this is better than just a standard fast castle. Keep in mind, it is a 9-villager start. So that does affect the timings on certain things. I said 4 to 5 hours. Thank you. Lucky Rocks making a barracks. I don't know what it is, man, but the building placements from people today have been tilting me. Why are we making a barracks so close to your eco? You're gonna boom. We all know it. You've got flexible economy. What if you want a town center over here? There's a stable. There's a market. So again, Lucky Rocks opts for the market, which I like because we're not usually seeing blacksmith upgrades on the lake. MbL's going to head to stone. There's no way MbL's tested this, knowing him, right? But he's playing by feel. He's going to head to stone, which will bring in some gold income over time. I think what could happen here, he's going to have a lot of food when he makes it to castle. And he's going to have a lot of stone because of this buildup. And so this might be interesting. He might actually go into, instead of it being more of a standard approach where you have a good castle time to add economy, it might actually be map control with spears and scouts into a forward castle. I honestly think it makes sense if you look at it that way. Going to be pretty late to castle age compared to his opponent. And that gold's going to take time. It used to be 50% of the stone you bring in is also gold. It's now 33%. It definitely takes a bit more time. Food count is steadily rising for MbL. Lucky Rocks making scouts. After meeting T90 in person and having mostly normal human interactions with him, the key word there from Dux is mostly. I feel just a little silly trying to troll him all the time. You're all good. I mean, it just gives you, if anything, gives you more freedom too. That was a good time, man. It was like weird how, it's not weird, but it's cool like how normal it was. Like we all kind of knew each other. Like obviously you got to hear me speak. I watched your City Skyline streams back when you streamed those, but for many of the mods, I'd never heard them speak, right? Didn't know what they looked like or anything like that. But you guys kind of know me. Kinda. It's, you know, it's a little bit different, but yeah, it just, I don't know, it just kind of felt normal, you know? I loved how, so for those that don't know, I did a mod meetup. So there were 6 of us, with me included. And so it was, for those that know the mods, you have Dux, you have Blue Pill, Stalker, Azure. And if I missed anybody, oh, and Willis, of course. I think that's everybody. And anyways, I loved how Blue Pill had ducks would enjoy making the, you know, the streamer jokes, right? Or the stream chat jokes. So if there was ever a 69, it'd be nice, you know. Blue Pill made a bunch of age jokes. I loved it. There are lots of, like, I can't think of any age-related jokes right now. Age of Empires, obviously, but yeah. So again, MbL's timing here, this is a 9-villager start. It doesn't excite me, but in the event that he can mass more army than his opponent and then drop like forward castle, I think it could be really cool. So that to me seems to be his plan. He will have to do some interesting things. Like he's not going to want to drop a castle with 5 villagers. So he might need to pull more vills. He's also kind of in a spot where he could drop the second town center. But he's going for forging now, and he's definitely going to have more scouts than Lucky Rocks. Lucky Rocks will have more villagers. Let's look at the res collected. I imagine polls are higher now. The polls absolutely are higher. I mean, it's 2 resources for 1 with the stone gold situation. Plus those farm boosts. Lucky Rocks notice? I think he knows MbL's got scouts, right? He sees the scouts now. He is able to get 1 relic already, and is dropping the 3rd town center now. MbL gets light cav, he drops a monastery, he's even adding spearmen. Oh, look at this monk, dude. Look at this sneaky monk. No light cav upgrade for Lucky Rocks, opting for villagers and eco upgrades, which is completely fine. MbL's going to drop a siege workshop. Is he going to siege tower into his opponent's base? It's going to be rammed, right? Look at this sneaky little monk. Sneaking along. MbL did get our first kill of the game there on a scout. MbL still hasn't dropped the second town center. This is a unique one, guys. Definitely going to be a forward castle, but the longer he waits, the more eco his opponent gets. Let's see. MbL noticed this. He's never going to expect that there's a monk sneaking that way. Did he pick up on this? No, he's just focused on these scouts. MbL even sold stone now. I'm so confused. Oh, man. Well, from what I hear, there's nothing wrong with my mic now, but my mic wasn't working before. Unless people are lying to me here, my mic is completely fine. Yeah, MbL remembers now there was a relic over there. Doesn't see the monk. Very well played from Lucky Rocks. Him seeing the siege would be really valuable here. He just saw the Mangonel rocks if he was paying attention. MbL's invested so much more into map control. And he has to be careful here because the monk could always convert over the side. MbL's bringing the villagers. Here we go. Let me check res collected now. Okay, so Lucky Rocks is just caught up. I mean, that's pretty crazy. But there's a lot more villagers, right? So it's going to catch up for sure. That castle's going up. There's no stopping it. And the panic that is going to ensue from this is going to be wild. This is not going to be easy for Lucky Rocks. Lucky Rocks is thinking, oh boy, what do I do now? And this is a bit of an off-meta play with the poles, right? But it does play towards their strength, so I like it for that reason. I like this from Rocks as well. Sees the monks. Look at the micro. That's so good. Able to kill those monks, prevent MbL from getting the relics. Okay, so I think you need wall. I think you need to abandon your stone at some point here soon, okay? Keep MbL running with these, ideally. Uh-oh. Okay, that could be a problem. You abandon the stone. You try and go imp into some army, but also some siege in the form of bombard cannons to pressure this castle. That's the way you play this. MbL forward town center right now. Hey, Daniel, it's possible the mic is a little bit off because, like I said, I did spill water in my mixer. I probably shouldn't be doing stuff right now with it, but I am, so as long as it's at an acceptable level where you can, I don't know, tell it's me, I'm happy. University behind. Food counts get pretty good. Bill count's also really good for Lucky Rocks. Now this this siege behind the walls is really nice here. MbL will not really be able to follow this up with anything but his own siege. But he's going to get the relics. I think I'd prefer Lucky Rocks' position. And let's check res collected now. Okay, now you're really seeing the villagers kick in. And Imperial Age will come in as well. Lucky Rocks is not the favorite in this series. MbL is the favorite. MbL is the bigger name. Lucky Rocks is a young, up-and-coming talent. Typically plays a lot of Arabia, similar to MbL. Just the timings on everything Rocks is doing just seems very well thought out. Like, sometimes you look at a player who's under pressure and certain things are incorrect, but, like, even this, not bad. Now, obviously, if you let MbL through here, you have big problems. Wonder if he's going to go camels, because he sees light cab, but, like, honestly, really think about it, like, I would absolutely go camels, because I'm seeing cav and I'm up against poles. I think you could just go for your own knights if you realize that you're just going to overwhelm your opponent in numbers. Not actually done anything just yet. We will see chemistry right away, so we can make bomber kills. Even researching things in the forward stable. MbL dropping another town center. He's on the way to Imp. Crazy game here. This is a really cool one. My mixer's hydrated? Yeah, for sure. Camels are going to be on the way. No stone income for Lucky Rocks. We'll definitely need to branch out and fix that problem at some point here. And let's see if MbL can kill a villager finally. Nope, still can't. And Lucky Rocks is creating a camel there and realizes the mistake. Cancels it. The 1 relic versus 3. I imagine it's going to be 4 for MbL any moment because he's got a monk all the way back. Oh no, it's actually the relics right there. And chemistry's clicked immediately. So this research is so fast for the Malians. Only thing I'll say is I would like to see double siege workshop. Oh no, he does have double siege. This is really good. So thank you, Jorn, for the stars. Never pet a burning dog. Okay, good tip. Thank you. Very random. I'm not going to ask any questions. Okie dokie. Is MbL going to try and hold this position, or is he going to feel as though he can't and give it up? He clearly expects bombard cannons, because he's going for block printing. And he's going to drop monasteries for more monks here. God, Olvakar's so loud. It's so freaking loud. That's all I hear. I think MbL got redemption. I don't even know if holds get redemption. I'm pretty sure they do. And we are going to have gunpowder and camels for Lucky Rocks. MbL able to make a trebuchet now. There's redemption now from him. Okay. Guys, this has been a unique game. MbL basically took map control at the expense of his eco, but with this civilization where typically you give up map control so you can focus on your eco. Honestly, I think it kind of evens out in many ways. Because MbL, look at all the resources MbL's been able to deny, and now he's got the relics. Lucky Rocks has kind of hid this army back here. Look at this. This is really freaking cool. MbL wants to see what his opponent's going to make. He's the hand cannons. He knows about that. He's the camels. MbL not really committed to cav at this point. Happy to snipe some siege with this. But ultimately needs to get his monk micro ready. And his monk micro is incredible. He's doubling down here. He's dropping another castle. So heavy camel. No Farimba upgrade because you need a castle for that. And MbL, he converts 1! He's going to convert 2! Lucky Rocks didn't expect it. He didn't realize that was what MbL was going for. It's crazy. MbL still, though, with some work to do. Oh, and it's so tricky now because you've got double castle fire from MbL that you could run into anytime you try and snipe a monk, and then MbL can go whoop out of the castle, whoop into the castle. Just wait for it. He's just going to eject and try and convert these bad boys. It's not going to take long. But he's not looking at his Olok right now. Hey, guys, what do you do if you're Polish and you forget what strips armor? You forget that basic knowledge. What do? You go read a book. Get it? Read a book. 2 bombard cannon conversions. Oh, man. Again, MbL's monks. Yeesh, man. I mean, this is getting frustrating now, I'm sure. Because you had the timing, or so you thought. And he's going to run out of gold here eventually. Now, he is dropping this TC. Really nice. MbL had a knight standing next to this gold. And MbL, I guess, had killed a Vil, but Lucky Rocks kind of just let it die over on the side in order to distract. I would, at this point, be worried that I'm never going to be able to push these castles. See how easy it is for that castle fire to snipe units? Lucky Rocks looks away for a second, and then there's problems. MbL noticed that these camels have escaped. And, I mean, camel counterattack is not high up on the list of things that MbL is terrified of here. That's for sure. So, run away. But sometimes you want to, distract and, they're stripping your armor. They're converting your camels. MbL's monk control is insane. MbL also has his own bomber cannons to make matters even more difficult. And I think MbL's going to win this game. As this goes, he's got full map control with 4 relics. But, I mean, look at all the stone and gold he's able to take. He's going to switch into archers, too, which seems like a great unit choice. Poles do get Arbalest. And this is really nice to be able to get a bit more gold. I think maybe you need some trebs as well, like 2 to 3 trebs with your cannons. Then you could maybe make it happen. MbL castle dropped without loot. That's how confident he just researched loot. Stone mining also available here is not bad. This is an amazing game. Hope commentary's done it justice. I hope you didn't leave after the book joke. Kind of weird for me to make jokes about reading books because I don't really do much of it. Even though I'd like to get back and do it. Can you believe this, guys? I was actually the kid who used to get yelled at by my English teacher for reading during class. Me. Yes, T90 official. I would be reading books during English class, but it wasn't like, it was fictional novel that I was really into. And I get in trouble for it, naturally, because I wasn't paying attention. Me! Not kidding. Alright, hand cannons. Light cav. Did we get Farimba yet? No Farimba. Farimba's worth splurging for at this point. Because you want to have your units be as effective as possible. I guess he doesn't have many camels, though. Lack of camels is a real concern. Monk just gets shot in the face with a cannonball. And this is just Lucky Rocks trying to build up for one big snowball push. But again, if you're going to do that, you need Farimba. And there's Farimba. I'm okay without getting Iron Casting, because that's just an extra +1 attack at this point. But Farimba's +5, so that's worth it. I'm surprised MbL didn't try and do anything about this. A castle drop here would have made a lot of sense. MbL's monk is venturing pretty far in there. Oh, 200 pop for Lucky Rocks. This is nuts. Look at MbL. Like, he's got Lucky Rocks surrounded pretty much. Both players getting upgrades. Upgrades for monks and siege and infantry for MbL. Doesn't have a lead Obok, though. And those light cav and those camels are going to be fairly strong. If the light cav can kill the monks, I think it can be a better engagement for Lucky Rocks. That's the key. But we know the monks are just going to convert these cannons. Book smart T90? No, I'm not book smart at all. But I did read books during English class and get in trouble for it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. How many cannons will get converted this time? Holy, dude. He's lucky it wasn't worse. I'm surprised he's been able to retreat with so many. The monks are still trying to convert. And there's an army there. It's very hard for me to see. And now I see there's no monks converting the bombard cannon. But the Olbuk stripped the armor. Well, hold on a moment. It's still pretty close engagement. Arbalests are better than the hand cannons. Straight up engagement. You got just more firing speed. More potential for damage output there. Bombard cannons have to roll away with their little legs. And MbL's held. Not completely, right? He's holding. Remember, does have more resource control, so he's not at the limit. It feels like he can add more of his unique unit. Feels like he can always add more arbs. And yet now he has held. We'll see if he gets the Trebs. The Trebs might actually be able to make it away last second. Okay. Man, how do you break this guy if you're Lucky Rocks? Okay. MbL, he feels like he's won this game. It's a tournament, right? He wants to send a message. And it's a risky message to send. He wants to go for the castle wall. He's 1 castle. 2 castles. 3 castles. Can I get a 4th castle, MbL? The castle wall. Let's go. He could throw the game. Like, if he loses all 4 of these castles, he might not have any stone remaining, and who knows what could happen from here, but it also could send a message. Get out of my game, fool. Get out of my game. 1, 2, 3, 4 castles. He's got arms sitting between them. He doesn't have... Well, no, he does have monks to still convert these cannons. Ay, ay, ay. In a tournament, MbL? Are you kidding me? It's a risk, dude. Before anyone says that's disrespectful. No, it's not, dude. It's literally, he's giving his opponent a chance to win. It's risky, but he doesn't care. He's trying to send a message. There's absolutely a display, some level of dominant display here. He's now lost 2 castles. Ay, 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 MbL. I mean, I think you're ahead, and because you're monk control as he converts 2 more cannons, I think you can get away with this. But this might ignite a flame under Lucky Rocks, and Lucky Rocks might want to win the next game because of it. What a unique game, though. Holy crap. I really hope I don't sound like I'm underwater because I spilled water on my mic. That game was so cool. I do think it's fair to say that polls are polls. Polls are strong, right? And in this particular tournament, you're not going to see them played as frequently. And anytime you do see them played, I think they're going to be favored. The farming, the stone mining bonus, just the way they play out, their unit options, right? MbL went Cav, he went for unique unit, he went for ranged units, he went for monks and his own seats. Like, that combination, not a lot of civilizations have. But it was a really good game, and I think that MbL had to work really hard to hold Lucky Rocks off. I think what we really saw is how good he is with monks. Anytime there was a threat that bomber cannons could take out his castles, MbL had the monks prepared. I think he's the best controller of monks in the game. He did actually, he was ahead in food, he was ahead in gold, he was ahead in stone. Way behind in wood, not that that really mattered. Lucky Rocks actually collected more resources in the game, but in this series, in Masters of Arena, MbL's now up 2-1 after winning 2 straight. Great game, though. I just wonder, like, normally I would say you try a counterattack, but it's hard to do a counterattack on Arena, and MbL had such good vision. When the camels came out, MbL knew about it. So I think you just have to maybe have light cav earlier, just have more units, right? Because in this game, MbL, how many conversions did he get? MbL got 14 conversions. I want to say 8 to 10 of those are probably bombard cannons, which is 225 wood and 225 gold apiece. I think maybe if you mass like 8 bomber cannons originally, which is a little abnormal in most situations, but you mass it, surprise MbL with it, maybe he converts 2, like it happened many times, but then you still have 6 remaining to take out those castles. But a fun game. Hope people enjoyed it. There will be more games in this series. If you see this on the main YouTube channel, the whole series will be on the extras channel. Check the description, and it'll all be there. Cool. Here we are, game number 4. MbL's playing as the Incas here, a civ that has quite a few options, but not necessarily top tier. I don't know if they're necessarily that good on Arena. MoA, I suppose they have fewer options, but MoA have always been very strong on Arena because of the timings. Advancing faster to the next stage is a really big bonus you can utilize here. And I think good archers and good infantry and good monks is oftentimes enough for them to get the job done. So, see how the 9 villager start affects MoA. Does it help them because they can advance faster to the next stage, even faster? Does it hurt them in some ways? I'm not too sure. I'm not having air quality issues here. I know a lot of my friends in the Northeast are having some air quality issues due to all the fires in Canada, but no issues for me down here in Florida. We're good there. So we could see maybe Karambit Warriors Arbalest. I mean, here's where it gets tricky. Let me just say this. So, if MoA go for their top 3 options, Karambit Warriors number 1, going to have slingers and archers potential for counter. Archers number 2, you've got skirmishers and elite eagle warriors. Counter. Option number 3 would probably be the super cheap elephants, Kameyooks, and halberdiers. Counter. Now, you could kind of flip it as well. You could say Incas. What's their best option? Elite eagle. Karambit warriors. Archers. Skirmishers. Bomber cannon. You know, like you can kind of go both ways with it. But Incas, despite not having access to stables, do feel like they have 1 or 2 more options. We'll see. I think a lot of it's going to come down to a good combination. Like, what's stronger? Elite Karambit Warriors and a bunch of elite skirmishers? Or, you know, Kameyooks and skirmishers? I don't know. Find out. But yeah, Lucky Rock's not showing any signs to me that we're going to see any fast feudal action, similar to what MbL did in the previous game. If you're going to see that, again, I'm basing it more on a 3 villager start. You would probably see like 2 to 3 on wood at this stage. It's 4 on wood to plan for farms. And basically, you tack on more villagers to a normal build. So if you were to click up with 24 or 25 villagers, you go up with 27 or 28 because you arrived at feudal center. It's been bad with the haze and a few fires of our own here in New Jersey. Really? Well, I imagine a lot of it started because it's all really dry. When I was in Pennsylvania last week, my mom was telling me how there hadn't been rain in like 3 or 4 weeks. And it was very dry there. I don't think there were any fires in Pennsylvania, but maybe just in the Northeast in general, it's just not had a lot of rain, combined with some winds and, you know, a couple of idiots throwing cigarettes out a window, and you never really know what's going to happen, so. Doran says, I can't believe that someone can enjoy the humidity in Florida. Only Louisiana beats it. Almost dry drowned on the streets of New Orleans. I mean, listen, this is how I live my life. I spend a lot of my time inside in air conditioning anyways, okay? So when I go outside, I prefer there to be sun, right? There's a lot of sun down here. And I absolutely don't want, like, dark, cloudy days and days where it's windy, cold, and freezing. So I don't live in Florida. Well, first off, main reason I did move down here at the time was I was interested in a lady, all right? And Florida was also a place I was looking to live, so I was like, let's take a chance. Still with her. She's my fiance now, so we're all good there. But I don't think many people live in Florida for the summers, right? Like, the summer is incredibly hot, absolutely. But if you have to go outside during the summer, hop in a pool, you know, go to the beach. Otherwise, just don't go outside. And then when the winter rolls around, that's where you're like, oh, I'm really glad I'm here. Because you don't have the cold and the snow. So I will say, I am getting to a point where I wish I had a few more seasons, right? Like fall, I kind of miss. when I go home to visit my family in the fall, and you've got the leaves changing, and like you wear some jeans and a flannel. I really like that. So I don't know if we'll be in Florida forever. A lot of it will depend on Milady and her job and whatnot. But I do really like it here. Yeah, Prince, I know there's quite a few fires in Canada. And all that haze is blowing down. Familiar with that. Anyways, blacksmith market here for Lucky Rocks. MbL is going for a barracks and then a blacksmith market. So this shows me that he's going to go for eagles. He can't make scouts with his civilization, but he could make eagles. Or initially eagle scouts, I suppose, and then warrior. Gotta live like a migratory bird. Minnesota from June through September, and then Florida the rest of the year. I'm not going to snowbird it. My parents would love that, but I don't think I'm going to snowbird it. I just try to visit 3 to 4 times a year and spend as much time with my family these days. When I had first moved down to Florida, I pretty much told myself, but also told them, like, I'm far away from family, but I get to save a little bit more money on income tax and whatnot, enjoy some sunshine, but then I could visit, right? And then COVID happened, and so that didn't happen as much as I would have liked. And my parents aren't getting any younger, neither am I, but this past week getting to see my family was really nice. I think I will be going home frequently as I can justify. All right, sorry for the little side tangent to the 17% of people who didn't really care about any of that, but there's literally nothing else for me to talk about, and I just opened up a caffeinated beverage. Eagles are kind of tricky to deal with if you're just planning on snagging a couple relics with no supports. But that's not what Lucky Rocks is even intending to do. We don't even see the monastery yet. This is just going to be a straight boom. Remember, though, in that game earlier where MbL went straight boom and then Lucky Rocks tried to pressure, it looked like the pressure had maybe come in a little bit too late. I'm curious if MbL is going to pick up on the fact that there's no map control presence or map presence from Lucky Rocks here. If MbL will try and bring a villager forward. Because MbL is definitely going to want economy, right? That's going to happen. We're going to see the monastery come up to snag relics. But at what point does MbL realize there's not going to be light cav out here? And if there's no light cav, it's typically just boom. And right now, guys, look at the vill count right now. 35 to 28. MbL did nothing wrong. It's just simply the fact that the Malay can advance up through the ages so quickly and then focus on the economy faster. And they spend less time researching the next age, which means they can get back to creating villagers faster than their starting town set. Maxim says here the winter reaches to the negatives and the summers are in the hundreds. Really? Where are you from? I had to guess. I think you said like maybe Finland, but that doesn't seem right. Does it get that warm in Finland? Wood upgrade, farm upgrade for MbL. Quite nice. PC is deliberately placed on stone, which could be for a castle or a tower style push. Thank you for caring, by the way, Daniel. I'm from Eastern Washington in the U.S. Oh, really? I didn't... Well, I guess it does make sense it could get pretty cold and pretty warm there, right? Because the humidity can be pretty high as well. Okay. I have yet to be to Washington State, but I would love to go there someday. There's a lot of beautiful areas out there. P90, what do you think about Messi joining Inter Miami? Will you go to a game to see him? I have not seen an Inter Miami game yet because they are playing in a backup stadium. It's like a old stadium. It's not a main MLS stadium yet, right? And I was kind of like not really planning on going to see a game until they had their new stadium, which is apparently going to be awesome, but that's not going to be for 2 years. So mostly I'm just kind of confused. Like, I was reading earlier, that a player on that team said, like, there's no way that they're ready for Messi to show up. Like, the security can't be good there because the stadium's so old. I'm just really curious from the outside perspective how that's all going to go, honestly. But I might see a game. I looked at tickets, and tickets are just ridiculous. I'm not really sure I want to pay that, but you know, good for everyone within the U.S. Good for the sport here to have such a big star play here. I just hope everything goes smoothly for all parties. Messi's not a prima donna. No. I'm thinking like security, right? Like, I'm thinking like fans are really passionate down here. I know it's the United States, but you have a lot of people very passionate and would love to run onto that field and hug the guy. And if you have a stadium which is like 50 years old and doesn't have proper security set up, and there's a lot of hype and a lot of interest, I just kind of feel like it's kind of a security nightmare. Feels kind of weird for a guy who sits on his butt and watches other people play video games to have that be the concern. But yeah, that was like kind of my first thought. Anyways, MbL is just slowly bringing in the relics. Lucky Rocks has not tried to contest for the relics at all. Res collected here is extremely high for Lucky Rocks. And seems to be building up towards a castle. Maybe Karambit Warriors. Yeah, also the team he's joining, Inter Miami, is not very good in the MLS. I'm kind of curious to see how that goes as well. Okay. Pretty wild, man. Kind of the end of an era right now, right? All these amazing players like Ronaldo playing in Saudi Arabia, Messi going to US. Kind of their like retirement tour, you know? Pretty crazy for me. Having watched those players my whole life, pretty much. Archer ranges now. The Lucky Rocks is going to build up towards archers. Wonder when Lucky Rocks is going to click up here. Can't tell you how many times that I've clicked up to Imp with Melee. I arrive to Imp with like 10 crossbows, and I don't have all the upgrades yet. And I can't afford anything because it's too fast. Yeah, Zlatan's retiring. Benzema's leaving. Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, I don't want to dive into it too much. But, like, it's been common, you know, for players near the end of their careers. Writings on the wall. They're just like, ooh, MbL gets a conversion there. I think he lost one monk, though. Yeah, lost one monk and then maybe didn't. Anyways, he converts the scout. It's common. Players are like, well, this is the end of my career. I don't want to be a streamer, right? I don't want to be a YouTuber, talk about Age of Empires 2. So let's, you know, get one last big payday before we sail off into the sunset and do whatever. Remember I said 10 crossbows when you get to Imp and not full upgrades? I'm pretty close. 10 crossbows. I was just speaking generally. I wasn't trying to speak with such specifics. Okay, I know I was trolling before, but the mic has been noticeably worse since I moved the desk. I think it's the fan. Okay. It could also be me moving, but yeah. That wasn't an issue before, so I don't really know what to do. I'm not going to turn the fan off, though. So you're saying... Wait, hold on. Okay, it is picking up some occasional... I could see on my OBS it picks up some occasional sound of air. This is amazing. I love this push from Lucky Rocks. Look at this. Trail of bodies for MbL. He didn't have any upgrades on those units. And Lucky Rocks is going to drop a forward castle here. If only he would have realized the monastery was there and just stood here. Because he actually could have prevented MbL from running with all the relics. MbL is going to click up to Imp now. He's 3 minutes away, which means he's going to have Trebs hitting his walls and his castle. What a great job, though, from MbL to at least give himself a chance here and run back with those relics. And he's dropping archer ranges, so I guess he's going to try and go skirm. 80 says, will you go back to Twitch for one last payday, 11? Going to Twitch would be the opposite of the payday. going to Twitch is they take more money, they run more ads for you. And if you've heard the news recently, it's only getting crazier. If I go back to Twitch, it'd be for the fun of it all. And obviously Facebook, a big reason I came here is because they made a really good offer for me. I'm not planning on retiring. So it's a little bit different than the comparisons we made earlier. Okay, bombard cannons will start to come out. The other one's coming from here. Absolutely want to go for the castle first. Because if you take out the castle, Incas don't have the potential to make bombard cannons. So what are they going to do to push you back if the castles are gone? So for that castle, MbL will have another castle. You're going to see skirms. B said they're now taking a percentage of bits. Yep. They pay out ads less than any other platform. They run more ads than any other platform. They're now looking to step in and stop people from taking brand deals or sponsored deals without Twitch being in the middle of it and taking a cut. Really don't want to get started. I've been really disappointed hearing all the changes and seeing all the changes with Twitch. I know I don't stream there right now, but I did for 6 to 7 years. I was one of their first 1,000 partners, and a lot of my friends stream there as well. So for streaming as an industry, it's really bad if Twitch is going downhill, which in many ways it is currently. Feels bad to be MbL right now. Got the relics, but you can't even take your golds. I think there's something to this straight boom approach, guys, honestly. But let's see if MbL can get himself out of this hole. He does have redemption. He's seen what he could do already. There's been a couple instances where he's been locking those monks in on stuff. No Trebs yet. We've now got barracks from Lucky Rocks. I'll tell you what I don't want him to do. I don't want him to go for Force Levy. I think it's overrated. I think, like, supplies. Great. I think it's overrated. Go Karambits. Oh, man. If MbL only had ballistics, he would have killed so many units there. Do you have a castle? I would like to see Karambits, but I suppose production could be an issue with only one castle. But is Gambesons now coming in? Should I say that like supplies? Gambesons! He's going to have to go from man-at-arms to then longsword to two-handed swordsman. When he gets there, and then he gets Force Levy, then his units are only going to cost 2. But imagine never building those barracks and instead just seeding a bunch more farms. And just using this castle to produce Karambits this whole time. I think that's probably optimal. Maybe he doesn't consider that to be safe. This certainly is not very safe, having his Arbalest out of position. MbL has more population right now, and he's got castles. He doesn't have a lot of space, but he does have the castles. Got bombard cannons that could be converted, so Lucky Rocks has been very careful. Did MbL see the barracks here? He saw one, and he can see the sword. So there's no surprises. He's adding slingers now. He's spending gold on these two-handed swordsmen, is he not? I didn't see Force Levy. But you get the armor upgrades for free with melee. So still, two-handed swordsman is really good, and we see another castle now. MbL is just... his focus with the monks is just insane. I like this from Lucky Rocks. Got Arbs. Got two-handed swordsman. Looking to find damage. Still holding this position with the castle. MbL refuses to die. I've called him the cockroach of AoE for many years. One of the best compliments I've ever given anyone, actually, even though it sounds horrible. It's just, he is so good at staying in games. And that is a wonderful trait to have. While it might not be so exciting to hear me call you a cockroach. You can't kill him off, but we do see villagers going down here right now. Meanwhile, we've got Trebs from Lucky Rocks and MbL's castle here. There's not many Arbs anymore. There's only 17 Arbaleths. Maybe an opportunity for MbL, but it just feels like he really needs to keep his up. Again, two-handed swordsman, engaging against the skirms. Bomber cannon creeping forward. I would never make a siege weapon against MbL beyond a trebuchet, I think, from what I'm seeing here. Two-handed swordsmen do cost gold because he couldn't afford Force Levy. And MbL can actually still win this game. He forced a delete on the Bomber cannon, or maybe Heresy's in and I missed it. The Trebs now from Lucky Rocks are going down. Are you kidding me? Again, Karambits never even had the barracks. How much wood is this? What is this? This is 9 barracks times 175. Someone can do the math on that, but I know it's over 1,000 wood. That could be lots of farms. Karambits produce super fast. Could have had elite, probably, if you didn't have to upgrade towards supplies, Gambesons, man-at-arms, longswordsmen, all those things. And now the beast is unleashed. Now you have some concerns, and MbL could actually win this series right here. He always has the slingers behind in case the infantry gets close enough, and the skirms in front. And now the panic sets in for Lucky Rocks, who, again, doesn't have the relics. MbL put the relics in the back of his base, which was so smart. And he's gonna... I think the panic has already set in. He's gonna lose his castle. Suddenly, he needs to scramble up houses. He wants to produce any more units. I've been there before. The reason I pointed it out when Lucky Rocks added what he did, I've been there before where I try it. I just felt like that was a moment where he could have pushed or massed a more significant army. Felt like the most natural unit would have maybe been those Karambits. Still, MbL would have had the slingers. This also comes back to the fact we're talking about Incas, which have so many options. But MbL's back from the dead, if you even would have considered him dead. What is this? Yeah. What is this? There's a two-handed swordsman stuck in the wood line. How did he get there? What is that? Can MbL see it? Yeah. Okay, it's an outpost, guys. It's just an outpost. That's normal strategy for the melee. There's a new tech in the game where you can just, somehow slide through the trees. But okay. We have skirms for Lucky Rocks, which is actually a very nice addition here because everything that MbL is making is vulnerable to skirm. And MbL is starting to branch out. What does new Andean Sling do? Didn't they change Andean Sling, or are they going to change Andean? Did I spoil it? I know it was on my list of useless unique techs. It removes the minimum range of skirmishers and slingers. Which, in my video, I basically was like, that's not that helpful. I thought they had maybe made an adjustment. I don't know. Anyways, MbL researched it. He's banking up gold, so an eagle switch makes a lot of sense because he's seeing all the skirms. But even still, guys, look at how many monks he's using to select individual units. It's +1 attack for slingers now, too? Okay. So it adds even more attack to a slinger. It's been interesting. I think where that helps, is slingers already wreck infantry, so it doesn't really help there. I think where it does help is we have pikemen being researched right now. Is against units that slingers aren't very good at, like cavalry, for example. I mean, obviously, +1 attack is still nice. But I'd never really looked at a slinger and said, oh man, they're not doing a good enough job. Okay. MbL's laughing because he sees this. Or at least, Lucky Rocks had signaled it and pointed it out to MbL. So they're both enjoying the bug. But I think that Lucky Rocks is going to struggle. All those barracks that he had built, they were in the middle of the map and they're gone now. So he has to make more. And in this time, MbL can just start to flood Eagle Warriors that will have 10 Pierce Armor. Everything here that Lucky Rocks has right now is going to disappear. There is no way that he can stop these Eagles at the moment. And yet again, excellent job from MbL. Stay alive. I don't know how the guy was able to survive all that. He was smushed up against the edge of the map. which was insane. He's actually using villagers. Inca villagers are affected by blacksmith upgrades. Let's go. Type. Using vills against a Bombard cannon. Takes out one of those trebs. Does lose quite a few trebs of his own. But he does take out all the trebs from Lucky Rocks. Slingers. It's eagles. It's skirmishers. I'm still not even sure if Lucky Rocks got Force Levy. I'm trying to see. No, he's spending gold on the two-handed swordsman. Oh, that's so sad. And I can't be judgy because I've been there. I also remember a game where I thought I had Force Levy, and I made over 200 two-handed swordsmen in the game. So it could be that he thinks he clicked it as well, but I never really saw him have the resources. It's not the cheapest tech ever. There's just so much exposed eco. If MbL knew this was open, he could just send eagles directly into Lucky Rocks' economy. And that would probably be the end for Lucky Rocks. What happened to the two-handed swordsman? Oh, I'm guessing he died of starvation out there in the woods. He didn't have any sustenance. That was probably it. Say what you want about that bug. It's been better. I used to be able to reproduce it. I kind of knew like 3 different ways to glitch into the wood line after I accidentally did it a bunch of times. So they seem to have fixed it for the most part. Another Bombard cannon goes down. Oh man, painful stuff. These slingers back here have 81 kills. You just need a small group of them behind everything else. And anytime infantry closes in, they just pop everything up. And MbL knows what he's doing here. He's going to drop a castle right next to the trebs. He just wants to protect the trebs. Make it so that this cannot be contested in any way. I don't think he even needed it. Honestly, I think he could contest this castle and take it out anyways. But nothing wrong with having a castle in the middle of the map when there's all these resources close by. What a frustrating loss for Lucky Rocks, who came in here as the underdog. Did win the first game. I wasn't able to see that one. I think played well, and I think learned some lessons. Right? Like, Lucky Rocks is not an arena player. And I think could tweak a couple different things and probably get some wins on a different day. But you're not going to have stone forever if you're Lucky Rocks. And how do you contest these trebuchets now? Just don't. You got to go through the castle first, which is why MbL did this. Rocks still keeping up. Rocks has a lot of eco, but still the big question is army count and army type. What unit are you really going to make here? And Bombard cannon goes down. I also love how this castle has accumulated 15 kills since it's been built because of all the buildings here. It's a real underrated thing about the positioning of that castle. And I think the GG will likely be called here shortly because this castle will fall. MbL might lose this as well, to be fair. Looks like he probably will. But it feels like the castle served its purpose. And it's going to allow MbL to raid this area, deny that gold, push. I think it would make sense for MbL to seed a few more farms and consider champion at this point. You're only up against two-handed swordsmen and up against skirms. You have golds. I mean, you could make more eagles again, but I really think going for champs would be the killer blow. Also, I think Incas don't get supplies, but I guess all their units cost less food, so it's kind of... It's probably better than supplies, actually. Yeah, it would be better, right? I'm trying to remember the exact numbers. Man, crazy that Rox is still in this. He doesn't want to call it quits. He'll be out of this... Or not out of the tourney, but he will lose his series. Like how MbL's making Halb right now. Against a player who's had no horsemen on the map this game. A little bit of damage going down here. Again, just chipping away. MbL's Trebs slowly going down. It says there's 32 on gold for Lucky Rocks. How is that possible? Is that all of these villagers? 16. Oh, wow. He still actually has a decent amount of gold. Dang. It's a shame he's spending gold on the two-handed swordsman. Step Lancer, he did get Gambesons. He did. Or are you talking about Incas? You might be talking about Incas. But Lucky Rocks did. He's got 6 Pierce Armor. Again, the main thing he really missed was Force Levy. So he's spending gold on these units, which is painful. MbL, again, if you wanted to go Kamayuks, Champions, mix in more Monks, he has the potential to do it. See how he structures his units? This is how you play Incas against Malay. Slingers behind, skirmishers in front. And you don't really need to micro that much. You can see Lucky Rocks going in with his skirms to try and kill the slingers. That's very good, though. Still really needs to deny this. Man, Lucky Rocks will not go away. Not go away, man. Continues to fight here. I think MbL probably thought he won this game so long ago. He only has 1 slinger on the field now. Two-handed swordsman numbers really high. He's got 22. MbL only... Okay, he has slingers in queue now. But he's kind of dropping off. Is there a chance? Shout out to this help in the back of the eco who's killed 10 villagers. You're a beast. No way, man. No way. MbL had him on the ropes. If Force Levy comes in now, if he just remembers, I think he thinks he has it. But if he just thinks to look for that, he might actually have a really good chance. This game would probably go on for another hour, but I think if he gets to a point where there's no more gold left for Incas, oh boy, that was brutal. But yeah, if it gets to a point where the Incas are just relying on the relics, it's not enough to have consistent skill spam, and it even can be a struggle to have consistent champion spam. And MbL hasn't even teched into that yet. But the second MbL just got more units on the field and got a big old army of slingers, the two-handed swordsmen aren't going to be near as terrifying. Dang. Ben says best to run to Best Buy and buy a temp mic. Lol, your commentary is everything. Okay, Ben, are you listening to live time? Or are you possibly like 10 to 15 minutes back? People making me paranoid about the mic. I did initially have the title of the stream as Mic is Broken. You still hear me, right? Or did the mic get worse? What happened? Be good? I'm paranoid, man. I wanted to continue to try and stream today in Cassie's games. A little bit of rating here from MbL. Again, 5 relics. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes people, because you can be watching the live stream, and you can be watching at a later point while also still having the chat up. Sometimes people will be watching in the past and make a comment live. I think is what happened there. Cool, cool. Everything's fine. Cool, thank you. Delay just won't go away. But Lucky Rocks has spent all of his freaking gold, and he's going to be stuck on Skirm soon. He's going to look, see that he doesn't have any more two-handed swordsmen in queue, and be like, why? These things only cost food, right? And then he's going to realize. Obviously, bomber cannons aren't going to be possible to push MbL. MbL's going to go Onager. Yeesh. Okay. Thank you, chat. PG's called. Lucky Rocks taps out. Good game, good series. Hope it was fun for everyone to watch. And again, I really just think he needed to go Karambits, and we were in a 5th game. I think MbL still puts up a really solid fight. But, let's go to the point of the game where he starts to add the barracks. Okay, so he's pushing MbL a lot here. Okay? MbL's only on skirms. And now he's adding barracks. Have the armor upgrade in already. You're close to a 2nd castle. Think of the time. You need supplies. You need gambesons. You need men-at-arms. You need longswords. You need 200 swordsmen. You need the barracks. Like, we're talking 1,000+ resource commitment when you could just go for karambits, right? Just go for karambits and you're good, dude. It's just like the classic example of trying to be too fancy in a position where you're winning. I've been there. I've done it. But if he looks back at this game, how did I lose? Well, you didn't flood Karambit Warriors. Karambit Warriors produce really quickly. Elite Karambit is cheaper than researching all the other upgrades and the barracks. And again, the big thing as well that I point out is instead of dropping these barracks, again, doesn't need to be getting some of these upgrades, you just farm, right? So you have way more on food. You get to like 60 on food instead of just 37 at this stage. So a painful loss for Lucky Rocks, but some lessons learned. The good news with how Masters of Arena works is you can, you're still alive if you're Lucky Rocks. He will play the loser of whatever the other series in the group. I don't know if I'll be casting that one, but I honestly think he plays well, and I think he might be the favorite there. Again, not knowing who he faces. So I think he's really good to take MbL to late game almost every single time and take a game off of MbL as well. You want me to review how the two-handed swordsman got into the forest? Okay. Sure, chat. I got you. There is another series that started, but we could watch this instead. Okay, so for me, if I were to patrol and reposition my units at the same time up against woodlines or buildings, it would always happen. Oh! Whoa! Whoa, that was so much crazier than I thought. I love you guys for telling me to do this. Whoa, okay. So not only did he go through the trees, but he was kind of in the process of attacking the house at the same time? Okay, here's a two-handed swordsman. He's attacking the house, and then he just says, nope, I'm out of here. And he just glides through the trees and then freezes eventually. What in the world, man? You could tell by the way he moves, he's being commanded to do something. So I believe he was probably in a group. And then eventually he just gets stranded out there on his own. Eventually, Lucky Rocks deletes him. So he does die in these trees, but who knows? Maybe he actually just starved. There's no food out here. You can't survive on pine tree forever. GG.